You are listening to GHP Radio, powered by iTrackRadio.com, your independent music source. Fresh, new music, right here on the all-new GHP Radio, your new independent music source.
more than we can bear. tender love and care. Earthquakes underground, fires are all around. Can't find relief. We don't know which way to go, but one thing we do know, we can't take no more. No more pain. We need the sun to shine on us again. No more pain. Let love fall on us like summer rain. No more pain. We need the sun to shine on us again. No more pain. Let love fall on us like summer rain. Yeah.
You hate them, they hate you, just because of your hue. I don't understand. If love is love, love is love. Love is who you dream of, whether it's a woman or a man. From mountaintops to valleys low, from Zimbabwe to Mexico, let freedom reign. This war we can win, but we gotta recognize where we've been, so history won't repeat again. No more pain.
We need the sun to shine on us again. No more pain. Let love fall on us like summer rain. No more pain. We need the sun to shine on us again. No more pain. Let love fall on us like summer rain. Yeah. Let love fall on us like summer rain. Yeah. Day after day I see this love was meant to be. We need each other desperately, and when the time is right, we do agree breathlessly. No one will ever love you like I do. I'd give my last breath just to be with you. Can't help the way that I feel, because I know this love is real. And when you hold my hand, tell me that you understand. No matter what we're going through, yes, you're always there. Show me how much you care. This is true. Holding me in your arms at the end of my day. All my troubles seem to melt because I know this is real. This is now I know. Yes, I know. This is real.
Into the room, there was voodoo in the vibe. See, I was captured by your style, but I could not catch your eyes. So I stand here helplessly, hoping you'll get into me. I am so into you, I can't think of nothing else. No, no. See, I am so into you, baby, I can't think of nothing else. Thinking how it's gonna be whenever I get you next to me. It's gonna be good, don't you know? From your head to your toes, I'm gonna love you all over, over and over. Hey, me into you, you into me, me into you. Oh yeah, I'm so into you. Oh yeah. Hey baby, driving me crazy, I'm so into you. You, when you walked into the room, there was voodoo in the vibe. Oh yeah. See, I was captured by your style, but I could not catch your eyes. So I stand
Turn it up, y'all.
You know, ladies, every once in a while, we feel that sexual desire too. And we want to control the sexual situation. So listen.
9 o'clock, 3 hours to midnight. I wake up out of my sleep. Look like you're resting real good. Don't wanna wake you, but I feeling like being a freak. I'm lying here behind you, staring at your backside. You looking real sexy. Turn over, let me take a ride. I wanna love you all night long. I wanna make you feel good till the morning comes. I wanna love you all night long. Let's move in rhythm to the beat of this song. I've been waiting all day just to feel you next to me, next to me, next to me, next to me. Let me give it to you, I won't hold back. Let me free your mind, let's release at the same time. I don't need nobody else, they can't make me feel like you do. The way you hold me, the way you kiss me, the way you squeeze me, the way you wrap yourself around, the way you hold me, the way you kiss me, the way you squeeze me. Here it
listening to GHP Radio, powered by iTrackRadio.com, your independent music source. Fresh, new music, right here on the all-new GHP Radio, your new independent music source.
here. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the show. This is the GHP Radio, the Indie Live spot. And of course, today we're excited today because we have a great guest today. Help me welcome James Fusion Fingers Morgan from Ghost Jazz Trio.
Hello.
How's it going?
There I am.
All right, so welcome to the show. We just actually came off of playing one of the tracks there, the Up and Around, from the On the Level project, I guess. Is that right, sir?
Yep. Yeah, that's the album On the Level. So you're right on that one. That was the second single released. The first one was The Signs Ahead. But this one kind of boost the album up to the #1 position in the jazz charts, top 30.
Wow. Nice.
Very nice, very nice. Well, welcome to the show, guy.
Well, thanks. It's great to be here with Gary, Joyce, and Ray and Griselda.
Mm-hmm.
So I know Joyce has a show tonight, so I appreciate her taking the time to join us. So.
Of course, yes.
And of course, guys, Ray's back from Africa. He finally made it back. He's in the States now. Made it back last night. So he's
this morning.
Actually, well, yeah, I guess actually this morning. Yeah. So, but anyway, great to have you on today, James, and of course, I think you have something going on. Is it tonight or is it tomorrow on the same day of the?
Well, I have some stuff going on tonight, but I also have a Super Bowl show tomorrow night, 7 to 10 after the Super Bowl. So that'll be
right, yeah.
Chase Fado will be on keyboards. I do a lot of not a lot, but I do some solo work where I'll go and play by myself. So you gotta make the money where you can in these tough times right now. So, but on the Level album, which you were just playing that particular song, actually Patrick Yondal, who's featured on the album, he actually is featured really well on that song. I love the riffs that he does, the unison riffs. So. Yeah, he's a great musician. It was great to have him on the album. I've been watching him for years, and he's been around. He's got like 25 plus albums out.
Oh yeah.
He does soundtracks for like movies and television series and everything. And it was funny because his album was up against mine for the San Diego Music Awards for Best Jazz Album. So. I'm like, here's a guy I listen to watch some of his YouTube videos for inspiration, and my album is up against his. So I actually sent him a message saying, your album's amazing, and I hope you win. It's just, you deserve it. He's a great musician.
Yep.
So I said, yeah, I'd love it if you could play on one of my songs. And he goes, well, send me a cut. So I just sent him all the songs. And within a week, he had all the songs sent back. And all timestamped. I sent him with timestamps, where he could play. Yeah. And he, it sounded like he was playing in the room with us. And I used him on basically everything he did on every song. And he's just a prolific musician. He plays every instrument on his, a lot of his records.
Oh yeah, he's awesome, man. I said, we enjoyed having him on the show. And every time he does things, man, it's magic. It really is.
Yeah. And the thing I liked about having him on this album, and kind of getting back to the first album, which was Invisible Time, which got nominated for Best Jazz Album by the San Diego Music Awards, the one that was up against his, the way I tried to market it was, I just had some no faces, no names, basically just 3 ghostly figures on the artwork, just because I was new on the scene. Nobody knows who we were, right? Okay. So the second one, after getting some recognition and people starting to notice, I wanted to get somebody on there that people recognized. And so he came on there. And the thing I like about his playing is he's got that snap, crackle, pop. And jazz players, I'm not really a jazz player from my roots. I'm more of a fusion type guitarist. So they like to hit every single note when they play.
Yeah.
I mean, they hit every note. Whereas somebody like, say, Pat Metheny, that style, they kind of do hammer-ons every other note. Maybe they hit that kind of thing. So to have his snap, crackle, pop, super tight, compact sound, and then when I came on to solo, mine is more almost relaxed. So it's this nice, difference.
Yeah.
I think
Contrast.
Yeah.
Man, that's nice. Very nice.
So if I get talking too much here, you can shut me up.
No, that's what this is what it's all about, man. So
About you.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So then I had another song which was kind of on this last album, which was Soft Blend. And there's a guitarist in town who's very good. He's been around for a long time from LA and stuff. Ray DiGiorgio, RDG, has his own band, and he opens up for a lot of top acts. Well, this song was more like a Journey type ballad, so I asked him if he'd play on it, and he came down to the studio. Within 15 minutes, he played that solo that you hear on the song. He just stood there, plugged in his thing, and did it, and 2 takes. And so I had him on there, and then Chase Pado, who's keyboards. He's a local kid in his 20s, really good, very talented. He plays with a lot of people, probably the hardest working musician in San Diego, plays with a lot of people. Got a bachelor degree in piano performance. So I had him come in and do some piano work, and now he's going to be on the next album, probably on every song. He's been rehearsing with us. So even though it's going to be called the Ghost Jazz Trio, because that's the brand, he'll be on the album. And then I had a couple other guests on there. But on this next album, Brandon Rothwell will be playing on a song or two.
Cool.
So bass player.
Yeah.
Brandon Rothwell, yeah, he's very good. So that'll be a nice sound on the album. So.
Very nice. Very nice. Anybody got some questions? Want to jump in?
I do. One of the other tracks there, because of the tracks that you sent us, I love them all. But the one that's kind of like what was Funk You Up?
Oh yeah.
Tell us about that one.
Well, that one again, it's a funk song, and I asked Patrick to write the melody on that, and because I really wrote it to kind of feature the bass, which was Nathan Brown on bass, who's amazing. Played with everybody.
I was about to ask who's playing the bass on that one, because the bass line was killer.
Nathan's from Detroit. He's been playing since he was like 15. He has that funky jazz infused sound, and he's recorded with like Bob James and Kirk Whalum and Earl Klug, Warren Hill, Scott Wilkie, tours with Coco Montoya. He has a single out called Oxygen on Spotify. That's amazing. But so anyway, he wrote the melody at the beginning, and then the melody kind of went to my ear. It was a little, just to have that same melody for 8 measures or whatever it was, I wanted to spice it up, so I had a sax player kind of play over it to give it a little more character. So this guy in Boston who used to live in San Diego, I contacted him. I said, could you, just do some sax over the melody, kind of intertwine, so it's not just the same guitar melody over and over, but something else. And the song came out really well. It actually was really popular in Europe. So Wes George really liked that song, so he played the hell out of that one.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was slightly different from the other tracks, and that's why it just kind of stood out. Like I said, the bass line was awesome.
Yeah. And well, this next album, I'm going to have 9 songs. There'll be one bossa nova tune. There's going to be another funk song called My Side of Funk. And then the rest will be more in the yeah, I know this kind of sounds in this day and age, a lot of people aren't listening to it, but kind of I want that Marvin Gaye R&B feel for the album.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be, yeah. So when the drummer, we're doing rehearsals, you know, I'm telling, just get that feel. I want all the songs to have that feel, that kind of R&B,
That kind of vibe.
cool, yeah, in the pocket, real cool, relaxed groove, about 120 beats per minute type feel.
Yeah.
That this album's going to be a lot more on that, but I'm doing a bossa nova one because again, bossa nova is super popular in Europe. So
I love bossa nova.
Yeah, and they have whole stations that are just dedicated to bossa nova. So I want to do one for them so that they can have to put on there. And then I'll have one funk, and then the rest are going to be more the smooth jazz genre, which is kind of new for me, actually. I didn't even play any of this kind of music until I started about, I think, 2017. So, and I don't know if you've noticed, but smooth jazz, one thing I've noticed about it, and the reason I like the genre, is because they give bass players a lot of airtime. There's a lot. I mean, there's no other radio stations or platforms that feature bass players like smooth jazz does.
That's true. You're right about that. Yeah.
Trisdale and all that. So that's one of the things I like about it. And it seems like the listeners are open to new music. You know, they want to have something that's there. It's not too demanding. They can relax, drink their wine, watch a nice sunset, have some music in the background. That's going to enhance their experience. So I like that. Now I've noticed that a lot of the fusion players like Dave Weckl and Mark Egan, bassist, to play with Pat Metheny, and Stanley Clark, who play with RTF. I mean, they're all coming over to the smooth jazz genre. Why? Because that's the market that's surviving right now and really blossoming. And really, if you play straight ahead jazz, yeah, I mean, you can play clubs and that kind of thing, but you're really not going to get out there to the listener. But smooth jazz is the market right now, and that's, you know, really why I think a lot of these players are coming over.
I think you're right about that. Go ahead, Ray.
Let me ask you this, James. Don't you think, besides smooth jazz, do you think the traditional jazz is going to come back into view? You know?
Yeah, I don't think my view of traditional jazz, from my personal view, is that, and this is the reason I didn't get into that when I did it, but also because I play by ear. I don't read charts. I do everything with just lead sheets. And, I didn't go to school and learn music and all that. But a lot of that music is just the same songs played over and over and over. And I'm like, in my mind, and I'm not being really critical of the genre, but why beat a dead horse? There's all these great players that already play it great. I'm not going to be able to play it great. So I want to create my own, and I think I've done it. If you listen to Ghost Jazz Trio, it has its own sound on every album, but it has that kind of R&B smooth jazz feel. And that's with that huge wall of music out there, with all these brand names like Boney James and Peter White. I mean, you can just rattle them off. You know, a new guy on the block like me to come in and play, I'm not going to really crack that ceiling. You know what I mean? Those guys are there. But at least I can bring my own interpretation into the forum, and it's being accepted. And but I don't think the straight ahead jazz is, you know, really going to be a huge market. You know, I just don't, because again, people don't want to sit in a restaurant listening to a trumpet player or a sax player wailing off. For instance, Joyce, when she plays, it's very melodic. All her phrasing, it's soft. It's, you know, it takes you from one point to the next. You can feel the groove of the whole song. It's collective, where I think straight ahead jazz is more focused on the individuals, you know, saying what they're going to say, and with their solos. And so, yeah, I don't think straight ahead jazz is going to make a huge comeback.
Well, this is something that I'm definitely working on to keep the straight ahead, traditional jazz into view out there, because you look at all the artists that they're dying, and this is America's music.
Oh yeah.
It can't be lost.
No.
That's the whole key. It cannot be lost.
Well, you can see I have an album by Jerry Mulligan up above me. I don't know if you can, but I have an album cover up there. My dad, who when I was really young, my dad used to, I don't know if you remember Name That Tune. It was a song on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Show on television back in the day. And
I remember.
Yeah, I can name that tune in 3 notes or whatever. Well, my dad, when I used to drive with him, he was a plumber. And I used to go to work with him sometimes in his truck. And I was just a kid. And he was really into jazz. He listened to Stan Kenton. He was a guitar player when he was younger. He played blues harmonica. And as soon as the song would come on, he said, I bet you I can name the next song that comes on in 3 notes, because that's what was the show. And any jazz song that came, he could just tell you exactly who it was, who's in the band, the year the album came out. To me, traditional jazz players know that stuff. I mean, that's, it's a whole world. You got to know that stuff and dedicate yourself to it. But when I grew up in the 70s, I was listening, most people I knew were listening to, Led Zeppelin and Grand Funk Railroad. I was in California.
The Doors.
Yeah, Doors. They used to play free in the park. I used to go see them on Thursdays, the Grateful Dead and Jefferson Airplane. And Hot Tuna was one of my favorite bands, with Jack Cassidy on bass. It was amazing. Well, my brother brought over the Hymn to the Seventh Galaxy album over to my mom's house, and I was still living with my mom at the time. And he put on the record, and I heard Bill Connors, and I was like, in that music, I was like, I want to play guitar. I want to play like that guy. I want to play music like that, That really caught me. And before that, I listened to Bitches Brew, which was one of my favorite albums. I wore that album out, and I think, like Miles Davis, to me, he started the whole fusion thing. Him and Charles Lloyd kind of went off in the 60s. And Charles Lloyd is one of my favorites. My brother actually took lessons from him because he lives down in the Big Sur area. So I was, those 2 guys got all those musicians, Chick and Lenny Bruce, Lenny White, and they all kind of splintered off after Bitches Brew. All those guys went off and did Weather Report and all that, Return to Forever. And all that music was, those 2 guys. And then, of course, was Miles. So I think Miles really started the whole jazz fusion thing. And that really got me into the music. I heard that. And then later, a few years later, I was up in Berkeley at a record store called Leopold's. And I went into the back room and I opened up the door to go into where all the jazz records were. And as I opened the door, the breeze from the door blew a poster up, and I saw an index card on the wall, and I thought I saw the name Bill Connors. So I go, and I pulled the thing up, and it was Bill Connors giving guitar lessons. So I'm like, oh, wow. So I wrote down the number and got home back to Santa Cruz. I was living in Santa Cruz at the time. So a couple of weeks later, I called the number, and it turned out it was his girlfriend that had split up. He wasn't there. She goes, you can contact him in L.A. He's at his parents' house in L.A. So I contacted him, or I called the parents, answered, and I pretended I was a manager, like, in the music business. Yeah, this is so-and-so. I need to speak to Bill because he hasn't given me a call. I lowered my voice and everything because I was, yeah. So about a couple weeks later, I'm up in my room practicing, and I was living with my mom, and the phone rings, and back in those days, they actually rang. And my mom yells up to me, she goes, Jimmy, she called me Jimmy. She goes, BC's on the phone. And I'm like, BC? What? So I pick up the phone, I go, hi, he goes, "Hi, this is Bill Connors," and I was like, I hyperventilated. I sat down on the steps, at the top of the stairs. I was like, "Here's a guy I listen to every day, wanted to play like he's calling me." So I said, "Yeah, this is James. Yeah, I saw that you were giving lessons and this and that." And he goes, "Oh, because my parents said this," so I told him what I did.
Right.
Yeah. And he goes, "Well, you got a lot of, what?" And I said, "Yeah, I guess I do." So he goes, "Well, I'm living in I'm living in Half Moon Bay, and I'm in Santa Cruz." He goes, "And if you want to come up, we can see about you taking lessons." So I got my car a week later, drove up, and I was really into John McLaughlin at that time. He used to wear all white Indian clothes. I had a white Les Paul, played Birds of Fire. I'd learn all the songs off Birds of Fire album and stuff. And so I was playing that kind of music. I wanted to be John McLaughlin too. They were great. So I get up there and he looks at me, and dressed in white, with my white guitar, and he just kind of started laughing because he sees a young kid. I have posters of them in my room, right? And he's older. So the funny thing is the way he was living, he lived in a 50 square foot little room. He had a cot in his room. He had a picture of Segovia on the wall, little chair, playing a nylon string, a classical guitar, and he was just playing classical music. And so, it was a lot different than what I had seen on the records and heard about him playing, live and all that. So I took my lesson, and he was teaching me basically technique in phrasing. He said those are the two most important things to him in music, and I didn't really know how to read that well. And I told him that, and he says, "Well, there's a con and a pro to learning how to read." He says, "If you learn how to read and you learn jazz and you learn how to read jazz, you're going to most likely be a side musician." He goes, "Do you want to be do your own thing, or do you want to be a side musician and work?" And I said, "Well, I write songs. I like to write my own stuff." He goes, "Well, don't worry about reading right now." He says, "You already have a natural ability." He goes, "Just work on phrasing, work on your technique." And so that's what I did with him over the next year or so. And we became friends. I actually paid him in pot, Yeah, everybody back then smoked weed. So, he goes, "Well, just, yeah." So I was like, it wasn't really costing me anything but gas. So I just bring him up, give him weed, and he'd teach me a couple lessons. And my friend that came up and bring weed, and I'd sit outside while he had his lesson. And then we ended up going to stay at my brother's in Carmel. We went to the Classical Guitar Festival, hung out. He cooked us dinner, chicken cacciatore, and all, told stories. So it was great here. I'm hanging out with my idol, and we're friends. And so that was a really inspirational time in my life, because I got to, in my mind, I was with greatness, because to me, Bill Connors was amazing. But yeah, and he had some stories to tell, like, breaking into Guitar Center and stealing an amplifier and hiding it under his bed so his parents wouldn't know, like I thought I was bad, So, yeah, so that was kind of my beginning into fusion, and ever since then I've just kind of been a band leader. And I think I was a band leader always because I didn't really learn how to read music, so by default I had to be a band leader. It forced me to. And so, but all the players I played with were always really good. I mean, even better than me as far as knowledge and theory and stuff, but they really liked my music. So a lot of these guys had their own bands, but they would always want to play with me when I wanted to do something, do a gig or whatever. So that gave me a lot of confidence in my songwriting ability, my playing ability. And I always tell people, I don't consider myself the greatest guitarist, songwriter, musician, but whatever I have works. So I just stick with it, and I just keep working at it,
That's what you got to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
I agree.
Shall we play a track?
Sure. We can go into the one that you mentioned, Grizz. Funk
Funk
It
it
Up.
up.
We'll go ahead and then do that, and I'll play another one, and then we'll come back and
Awesome.
everything. So keep it locked, everybody.
All right. I'll read the comments.
wow, that was really, really nice. And yeah, we're back. And let's see. What we had played with, we started with Funky Up, and then we went right into Here to There. Very nice, both very smooth, got that nice smooth sound.
Yeah.
And everybody okay? I hear some noise over
Everybody,
there. Right?
You know.
No, that ain't me.
it might be me.
I ain't
It
tweeting.
might be
I
me.
ain't tweeting. I ain't tweeting.
Tweet.
Tweeting.
Okay.
You know, it's just like James said. You know, he went to the guy's house to learn how to play the guitar. He played them in weed. I ain't tweeting. You know what I'm talking about, James?
Yeah.
Tweeting. That's what I'm talking about.
This is
Nobody
how I
else
feel right now.
But he know.
Yeah, too.
Well, you know, it's funny. After meeting Bill and going through all that, you know, the Return to Forever acquired Al Di Meola, who at 19 years old actually played his first gig with Return to Forever at Carnegie Hall.
Wow.
And he was actually, believe it or not, he had dropped acid. And somebody recorded Al Di Meola, who was on acid at the time, LSD, everybody took back then, those days,
Wow.
jamming. So he sent that tape to Chick Corea, somebody who knew Chick, and Chick heard that tape where he was actually high playing, and Chick actually called him up and said, and he was going to Berklee School of Music at the time. And the reason I know this is Al and I are friends on Facebook now, but we've talked quite a bit. He's going to be writing his autobiography. But anyway, Chick called him and says, hey, you know, I want to audition you. So he went down, auditioned. He ended up getting the gig. He went home. He's supposed to be at Berklee School of Music. His mom said, what are you doing home? And he says, oh, this Chick Corea hired me. And she goes, Chuck who? You know, she didn't know who Chick was. And his dad was sitting there in a T-shirt reading the paper, and he goes, yeah, I'm going to be playing Carnegie Hall in 2 weeks. And he goes, yeah, Carnegie Hall. Yeah, sure you are, kid. Yeah, you know, like, you know, whatever. So he ended up doing that. And as they toured, 19, he's touring, I actually, they came to Santa Cruz, and they ended up, and I'd seen them play at other places, but they played at a bar called Margaritaville at the time. And I was there, and they had little tape recorders back then. And Al had asked me if I would hold the tape recorder and record them while they were playing. I was sitting in the front. I said, sure, yeah. So at the end, afterwards, they invited me to come back to the Dream Inn, which is a hotel over by the beach in Santa Cruz. I said, sure. So my buddy and I, we were going to go. Then my friend said he couldn't go for whatever reason. So I went by myself, and I'm walking. I drove over with them, and we're walking in the parking lot. And here's Lenny White. He's got a sombrero hat on with a boa around his neck. 2 girls, one under each arm, walking to the hotel. And Al's with some girl walking to the hotel, and everybody were all going. So we're in the hotel room, and I'm sitting on a bed, one of the twin beds next to Stanley. And Stanley's got the L. Ron Hubbard book, Scientology. That he's reading. So, and when I knew about that stuff back, Dianetics it was called back then. So I was talking to him about that. And Al's out on the patio, and he's drinking a beer, and he's talking to the girl, and Lenny's on this other bed sitting at the end with the 2 girls, you know, just partying, whatever.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you hear a knock on the door, boom, 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 and Chick Corea opens the door, and he says, hey, we got to show up in San Francisco tomorrow. I'm leaving tonight. I'll see you guys up there tomorrow. So what I noticed was, and I talked to Al about this, he didn't remember, but he's going to put it in his book. Al, because Chick was so strict with the Scientology stuff, you weren't supposed to drink or anything.
Right.
So Al had that beer in his hand, and he threw it off the balcony into the pool. As soon as he heard Chick come in the door, and you know, to tell him everything that was going on. So that was kind of you know, kind of a neat experience that I got to hang out with those guys back then. You know, I was like 20. And then later I lived in Maui and moved to Maui, and I was partners with a restaurant. There was a guy named Happy and another guy. We had a little restaurant. And Mark Egan and the drummer Danny Gottlieb came there to play. And back then, Mark Egan, I don't know if he was a bass player with Pat Metheny, very good. He had a looper that he would loop, and then he would solo over it, and then Danny would play drums. And I told him I was a guitar player, and it just so happened that Mark had forgot or lost his looper, and I happened to have one, the exact same one. So I let him use it for the gig. And then that night they asked me if I wanted to jam, and I said sure. So the three of us got in a car, drove to a friend of mine who was building a house, had a foundation in Maui, had just the foundation with the platform to put the walls up, and a generator. So we set up everything on there in the middle of the night with a generator and jammed till the sun came up out in the jungles of Maui. So I got to jam with those guys. So I've had all these like really neat experiences like that throughout my life, and I've been very lucky, including opening for Alan Holdsworth 2013, Friday the 13th, Brick by Brick in San Diego. Normally he doesn't have bands open for him, but he lives in Vista. He passed away recently. And the owner of the club, Brick by Brick, Max, his girlfriend's brother was a keyboard player in my band. So she was playing the CD that we just come out with that got nominated by the San Diego Music Awards for Best Jazz. It was a band I had called Dialogue Project. And so he goes, what's that in the background? He asked Max, he goes, oh, it's a local band called Dialogue Project. He goes, see if they want to open for me. So we ended up opening for, you know, another one of my idols, Alan Holdsworth, at the Brick by Brick. So that was a great experience. What an amazing guitar player he was.
That's awesome. Pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I did mention a couple of the guys that are going to be on the next album called Dreams Above. It'll be out April 19th. It'll be GFA, Going for Ads. And I'm going to have, again, I'm going to have Jack Nathan on drums, and he's originally from LA. He actually helped instigate the Brian Seltzer Orchestra band. So back in those days, and he's got a really nice R&B, blues, classic rock sound, and then of course Nathan Brown, everybody knows who he is already, and Chase. So I'm really looking forward to the next album coming out, Dreams Above. It's going to be a lot.
Yeah. So is your next album, is this like a solo project for you, or is this going to be with as introduced as Ghost Jazz Trio?
Well, it'll be Ghost Jazz Trio because I've created the brand, and I have to say that. But again, as I said before, it was more anonymous. Second one, I had a featured artist that everyone knew. Now it's going to be Ghost Jazz Trio featuring James Morgan, and then anyone else will be guest artists. It's time for me to have my picture out there. People can identify with a person and that kind of thing. So that's been the gradual marketing strategy for me.
Very good, man. Very good.
So, and then I just received a call, Joyce. You probably know Bridget Lewis, Coffee Jazz Talk.
Yes, I know her.
Yeah. So she contacted me. So I might be doing something with her. She saw something I posted on Instagram and contacted me.
Check out her last jazz magazine.
Well, I saw you on the front.
Oh, okay. I know. I've known her for about 10, 11 years.
Oh, okay.
She's been working hard. I'm quite familiar with her. So.
Yeah, Bridget's all real cool.
And you've actually won an award of some kind, haven't you, Joyce?
With Coffee Talk Jazz?
No, but I thought you've won an award somewhere. I remember reading somewhere.
Yeah, throughout. You mean recently? Because there are several awards that I've
Yeah,
received in
see?
the last 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, you're people may not know that when they tune in that you have kind of a stellar career. So, and then of course Gary's a producer, and actually one of the songs Gary has on that I like, it has kind of Chris Standering vibe to me, is called Song Day After, I think it's called, or something.
I'm sorry, what was it called?
Called Day After, I think.
Oh, Day After. Okay, yeah, that's one of my
Yeah.
older, some of my older stuff. Yeah, that's from
Right,
back
right.
to.
But it kind of reminded me of that Chris Standring.
Andrew. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that real cool, relaxed vibe. I love that kind of stuff. I wish I could play like that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
You ain't heard none of my stuff, though, have you?
What stuff? You're snoring?
You know, I was going to tell you too.
Or you're moaning?
I think you guys could relate to this. One of the things that influenced my music a lot was movies.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
as a kid, I used to go to the movie theater, and you remember back in those days, they'd have 2 maybe movies play at one time.
Mm-hmm.
You go, you pay $2, $3, and they'd have a break. You go get popcorn, come back, watch the second feature. And I was heavy into Bond films back in those days, and I Spy and all that. So all that music that I used to hear in movies influenced my playing, because some of that music's amazing. If you think about
it, really
great
is.
hooks and themes. And one of the great movie, Clint Eastwood movie, Play Misty for Me, was had great music. And I was raised in Carmel, so I was actually one of his sons plays bass, and who's very good. And he was heavy into jazz, and I used to work at the Hog's Breath that he owned. So he used to play
his
jazz.
name, though. His son's name that plays the bass.
I can't remember.
I can't remember his name.
Can't think
Yeah,
right
but
now.
he's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good on that bass.
Right, yeah. And so jazz was always kind of around, and again, like Ray said, you got to keep jazz alive, whether it's straight ahead or now it's smooth jazz is the marketable one right now, but straight ahead jazz is super important.
Yeah.
All the
Don't forget,
it's
All right, I'm just going to jump in.
Yeah, please do.
Where did the name Ghost Jazz Trio, did I get it right?
Ghost Jazz Trio.
Yes. How did you come about that name? I like it.
As drummers have what they call ghost notes, and where they don't actually play, but it's like a beat that it's in their head.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, that's kind of interesting, because if you think about it, music is like nothing but ghost notes. There are notes out in the universe that we can't see or touch. They're intangible. But if you can bring through whatever channel you have into an instrument and project it where people can hear it in the physical world, to me, you're actually bringing the spirit of music. Because to me, it is a spirit. It's an entity. It's almost like in Sufism, they believe first there was silence, then there was music, then there was the word. And music to me is one step above human language, the word. It's something that everyone can relate to. It's a frequency that everyone can feel. It moves you.
Yes.
So that's how I got the name. I thought, notes are like ghosts. There are spirits floating around, and you can grab them and pull them in and put them in a structure, voiced through an instrument, and then have other people join you to bring their interpretation of that and to the listener. So that's how I came up with the name.
Awesome.
Cool.
Universal.
Oh, his name's Kyle. Kyle Eastwood.
Yes, Kyle.
Yeah, I was like, that's his name. I couldn't remember it.
Yeah. So
Uh-oh, Joyce, we lost your voice.
Joyce, unmute.
I,
There you go.
I have to mute because there's a lot of activity in the background. They're setting up, so I was trying to be sensitive. And also, my husband turned this light on that's blinding me.
I saw that.
Much?
You were like, whoa.
Is that too much, y'all? It's like,
Oh, the spirit of music.
Yes.
But
This
it-
is,
Victor
this
Wooten.
is a
what is
great
that?
book. This is a great book written by Victor Wooten.
Oh,
Based-
really? Okay.
Yeah, it's a great book. I recommend reading it. It's a good read. It kind of has to do. It kind of has to do with what I was saying about the ghost notes, but one of the philosophies, like right now, especially with music, everything is so digitized and quantized
Right.
that when I try to record, well, and I'll get to that in a minute, but really what's happened with music and the way he describes it is if you put music and equate it to inches. So if 12 inches is live music on a ruler, and then say you record it on a tape or a record, now it's maybe 8 inches because it's lost some of its it's not live. Now it's on something. Then if you put it on, say, a CD, now it's maybe 4 inches because now it's been compressed and so forth. Now with digital music, it's like an inch. And people, as far as if you equate how it's gone from live to how it used to be recorded live on records to now. So people nowadays, especially younger people, don't know what music how it used to be recorded live and that organic sound that you could feel like they were in the room with you if you cranked it up. Now it's so digitized and quantized and singers can sing out of tune and they can put everything in tune. You know how it works.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do with this, especially this next album, is I don't want the mastering and I don't want all the stuff to take away from the presence of the musicians playing in the room together, because I think people don't even realize it when they're listening to my albums, but I try to do that with it. But that's what gives it almost kind of its own unique sound too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I totally understand that. Yeah, because I really miss listening to music that when you can actually hear the fingers on the guitar. You can hear the
squeak.
Yes.
Great. Yeah.
Things like that, man. It's just really.
I miss that too, that warmth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even sometimes I like even just hearing a buzz of an amplifier from the guitar. As long as it's not too annoying. Not too annoying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Now the other. Go ahead.
Or at least one flat note from a horn player. It's okay.
Yeah.
Miles used to say that it's not the note that you get that is bad. It's the note after that's the most important one.
Right.
To get you out of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you cover it up. But the whole recording of music thing nowadays, again, everything is so compressed and all that. And then you have playing live. Nowadays, obviously, everything's changed, and you don't make a lot playing small restaurants and venues, which I do. I play restaurants and venues, but I go for the corporate gigs more because they pay more money. But a lot of musicians complain that restaurants and clubs don't pay enough. And I tell them, think of it like this. If they have a waiter that they pay $15 an hour, and they're maybe making $30 an hour off the food and everything, so they're still have to deduct the 15 from the waiter. And then they have payroll taxes, and they have the insurances. So by the time they get down, the restaurant's only making $5 out of that $30 they made. And bands aren't working for them. They're an expense, just like flowers on the table or other things to enhance the environment. That's an expense. So they can't, especially now, they can't afford to pay a lot of money for just bands around town to play. So you have to kind of think of that. I think musician and not feel like they're not paying you enough. They can't. And again, it's an expense. It's not you're not making the money. They don't hire you because you're making the money. So there's so many facets to music as far as playing, recording, marketing. To me, the most important thing is to create the largest footprint you can online for yourself.
Yeah.
It's all about marketing now. It's creating a brand. You have to brand yourself.
Yeah, branding.
So true.
Exactly.
One of the things that I think I've encountered that Al Di Meola encountered when he was younger, and we've talked about it, is that the jazz community here in San Diego, the straight ahead jazz community, has kind of not shunned me, but I've never really been accepted into it. And even Patrick Yandall, who has 25 albums out, hasn't really been. When you're doing something different, it's hard for a community clique of musicians to accept something new. Just like when Miles started doing his 60s stuff and getting out there, straight ahead players thought he was crazy,
Yeah.
Right.
So, you have to, but you can't care about that as a musician.
No.
You just stick with your formula, stick with your sound, and go for it. And you guys know this,
Yeah. And, it's amazing because when I was in college majoring in music, I almost got caught. Well, I did for a period of time. I got caught up in that box where they put music in a box. And like, if it's not classical, it's not real music. If it's not traditional jazz, it's not real music. And I got out of that. It's not real jazz.
Right.
And I remember my first album, on a jazz Facebook group, I posted Sweet Dreams. And there were several people in the comment section saying things, is that jazz? Is that really jazz? Well, they were having a discussion. I said, okay, let me just tell them about music evolves. If classical music evolved, why not jazz? Because Renaissance does not sound like modern music, and I'm talking classical.
Right.
Baroque doesn't sound like romantic. Romantic doesn't sound like classical. And all composers borrowed from the culture where they were living to create a different sound under the auspices of classical. So when people don't understand, music is going to evolve. It will never stay in a box because we are creative beings. So and people and I think you're like that, James. We're multi-genre people. I grew up around blues, jazz, zydeco, Motown, and later fusion. So it's really hard for me to stay. And you heard I do play smooth jazz and soft, but my latest release, Saxo Funk, I pushed the envelope a little bit, and the reason why I did it because that's me, and that's not me. That's music. That's music. So, and I appreciate you mentioning earlier, because I've often said, you don't need a music degree. You don't need all that, because when you get on the stage and when you produce a product, the audience could care if you have a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate degree in music. They really don't care.
No, they sure
I
don't.
They don't care.
Nope.
They just know if you're good up on that stage, that's all that matters.
That's all it counts. What
That's
sounds
all
good.
that matters.
Yeah.
And what sounds good, like James Brown said, does it sound good?
That's right.
Yes,
So-
Mr. Brown. Yes,
Back,
Mr.
just
Brown. That
myself.
sounds good. Yes, Mr. Brown. That sounds good, Mr. Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Woke
what
up.
are they? Well, one of his musicians said, "You can't do that," and he said, "Wait a minute, does it sound good?" and I love that. I love that. So I don't care if somebody comes and play with me, whether they read. Do you read? No. Okay. Do you want the MP3? Yeah, that's all I need. And I'm cool, because the bottom line is, what do we do on this stage? And I'm pointing this way because that's where the stage is. And that's what happens tonight, Because sometimes I'll chart out my music. Some musicians don't want it. They just want to hear it, and they got it. And that's beautiful to me. Whatever you have, I'm good with it. So, but I could, look, James, I play with a rockabilly band, a blues band. I play with, fusion, traditional jazz, and I love it all. So I say do it all.
Yeah.
Have fun with it.
Yeah, that's musicians like you, Patrick, and even Paul Hardcastle.
Hmm.
A lot of those musicians, they all are so dynamic. They can play so many instruments and so many styles, and it's a music. Again, it's not. It's a language, and it's a language
Yeah.
that and it's science, and it's everything. It's
Universal.
yeah, and it's just something.
Perfect, Gary.
Yeah,
It is universal.
and for me, I always, for me, playing music, like when you're home and you're practicing, you're just doing whatever. It's really, for me, it's when I go play, I'm practicing so that when I go play, and I know a lot of people don't practice as much as they used to. They're on the internet more than they are practicing. But when I was a kid, I used to put foil on my windows so I wouldn't know what time of day it was, so I could just play, and I would just practice all day. Mom would call my school and say, "Hey, yeah, he's sick today," because I told her I wanted to practice. So, and she was great because she promoted me. She wanted me to play music. A lot of parents would say, put that silly thing away and go to school.
Right.
But when I go play with the guys in the band, when we go play live show, I just like to, I create the songs so everybody's solos. I tell them it's okay. We have the hook. I'll do the little lead thing or the melody, and then we just go into the jam, and I'll just cue each one of them. We do a bridge in between. And one of the things I've noticed about music lately, and now that I'm thinking about it, the thing that music has lost is people don't do bridges anymore.
I noticed that too. Yeah.
It's just grooves, and they just groove, and then they play over the groove for 10 minutes, and then that's it. One of the things I think is refreshing about my songs is I have a lot of bridges in my songs, and for me that creates tension, because you have tension and then you have the release.
Yeah.
Tension and release, and bridges to me help the transition from one maybe key to the next.
Absolutely,
yeah,
and it gives it some dynamic as well too.
Yeah, I think a lot of music has lost that in the last 5-10 years.
Yeah.
I think even in the older music, not all songs had bridges. Like Roberta Flack, "Feel Like Making Love." There are no bridges in that song, but somehow she carried it. But I agree with you. I love bridges, though.
Yeah.
Like the song says, "Give me the bridge, y'all."
Give me the bridge, y'all. Give me the bridge, y'all.
Yeah. Well,
but
go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, one of the things I liked about the Return to Forever and Mahavishnu Orchestra and Weather Report in those bands, Weather Report to me was a groove band. They were grooved. They didn't have a lot of bridges, but they grooved. But McLaughlin RTF, the reason that I love their music is because they had so many changes. And I'm the kind of person naturally, like, when you're talking to somebody and they talk slow and you're a fast talker, and you're just kind of waiting for them to finish so you can say what you want to say, or, kind of annoying, drive you crazy. I'm that way with music. I think I write the way I write. It's like even when we rehearse, the drummer starts going, "Okay, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and play." And I'm like, dude, can you just go 2, 3, and let's just hit it? Because I don't have any patience for that.
Yeah.
So to me, changes, I get bored. So for me, bridges and changes are important because it keeps me interested in what's going on.
I had to mute it.
No, you weren't.
Bless you.
weren't
We
muted.
we heard it.
I was muted.
No.
That's why I said, "Bless you."
I'm sorry.
You tried.
I tried to mute. I was trying.
You're all right.
I'm
Bless
so
you.
sorry.
Bless you. That's all right.
Okay. My eyes are tearing up. Okay. Something in here I'm allergic to. Sorry about that.
No, no problem.
You weren't loud.
Okay, good. I tried. I was reaching and reaching.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it.
Okay.
But
well,
actually, it felt good.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up because we got we actually got a special presentation from Ray from his African trip coming up. But before we get into all of that, we want to thank our guest, and then also I want our guests to tell everybody how they can definitely keep up with all the great, wonderful things you're doing, sir, because you got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely. I appreciate you guys, again, having me on. And hopefully after the new album comes out, we can do this again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
with
for sure.
But, you go to ghostjazztrioband.com. It'll has our calendar and all the, merchandise and all that kind of stuff. And, of course, you got Reverb Nation, Twitter, Instagram, Ghost Jazz Trios everywhere. All you have to do is type it in. You could go to Siri or Alexa and say, play the Ghost Jazz Trio. We'll come up. But I hope everyone adds Ghost Jazz Trio to their Spotify playlists. That would be great. Love playlists. And again, really want to thank you guys for having me on. It's been fun.
Absolutely. That's our pleasure.
Yeah.
Is somebody okay, Joyce?
They're dropping every time.
I'm sorry, you guys.
No, you're
They're
okay.
trying to set up.
You're okay. We totally get it.
And I said, sorry. Yeah, everybody's okay, by the way.
That's good. Good. But again, yes, James, we definitely appreciate you, man, and we'll definitely be gracious to have you back when that time is ready. So you keep us posted, and let us know what's happening, and definitely we'll get you right back on, man.
Cool, and hope maybe one of these days Joyce will say, "Yeah, let me be on one of your one of your songs. Send me something." Yeah, because your playing is amazing. It would be amazing to have your sax on there.
I would be honored.
Yeah, you have a great sound, amazing sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So again, anybody that's watching, anybody that's there's not a lot, but you already know who they are. But I'm telling you, Joyce has got has amazing music. Go to the website; she's got all kind of videos on there, and yeah, you're definitely up there with all the top players in my mind. So.
Oh. Let me keep my head in. Oh, hold on.
Serious. I mean, all you have to do is listen.
Thank you.
Just amazing.
Awesome.
Oh,
that's so sweet.
That's
That
awesome.
is. Thank you.
Okay. Well, what we're gonna do before we have our Ray extravaganza, whatever you want to call it, we're gonna play.
Extravaganza.
There you go. We're gonna play one more from James, and it is called "The Signs Ahead." So we'll do that and get prepped, and then we'll be back. And y'all keep it locked right here. We'll be right back.
powered by iTrackRadio.com, your independent music source. Fresh, new music, right here on the all-new GHP Radio, your new independent music source.
hope you enjoyed that. That was wonderful. Well, you just got through hearing Jetstream from Dave Howard and 510 Jazz, and before that we played one more from our guest that we had on the show today, Mr. James Fusion Fingers Morgan from the Ghost Jazz Trio, and we appreciate him being on the show. And so anyway, we're gonna close out. We're gonna let Ray tell us a little bit about his trip, and he finally made it back to the States. We're happy about having him back safely. It was a little delayed coming back because, well, I think he's going to explain that.
Got some explaining to do, Lucy.
Yeah. So, but anyway, take it away, Ray. It's all you.
Well, this trip
Can I take a
around
nap
is
now?
Let me join you, Joyce.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, back. I'm sorry.
and this trip
I
is
can't wait to hear about why you were delayed. That's the part I want to hear. Why you were delayed? Because I
well,
know you.
yeah,
I
that
know you did some cussing.
I did.
You're hot as fish grease.
Uh-huh. That
All
grease
the
was
way.
popping.
I got a chance to do a lot of things that I wanted to do. Only thing I didn't get a chance to do is go to the jazz festival in Zanzibar, and because I was supposed to return back on the 6th,
Okay.
and that happened on the 11th.
Yeah.
But come to find out, hell, I was still there. Should have went on over there,
Yeah.
but I was so pissed because when I got to the airport, I got to the airport on time and everything, and done everything I'm supposed to do. The dude closed the gate at 3:30,
Oh my
and the plane don't leave at 3:35. So I had to stay another 4 or 5 days, so which was fine too. But yeah, I went to Kilimanjaro, and I was inducted into the Maasai tribe.
Oh yeah.
Which
Why
is-
you? Why? Go ahead and keep talking, Ray. I'm gonna put up some photos for some folks to look at while you're talking.
Oh, I can't see it.
And so I was inducted into their tribe. They gave me all their garb, the shoes, the cane, the necklace. I got all of that, dressed like a tablecloth, my cousin said. And but yeah, this is This is in my uncle's compound with the Maasai. You see, with the knife and the stick, I got that. And I got the long knife that's on the side. These is number teenagers here, and I'm in the village of in Kilimanjaro, sitting in my chair. Because if I got tired of walking, I'd pull that thing out. But,
Yes, he's wearing his dress.
and wearing my dress, and
Not a
They
robe,
don't-
a dress.
yeah, they prepared
Oh,
the
look, your little
meal.
cape. Your little
Well, they
cape
got a
is on
cape.
too.
Well, I got some stuff that's up under that also.
Superfly.
And, plus you
That
got
was like more like Mighty Mouse.
that's where he was handing me that knife.
Save the day. Sorry.
And this is in my uncle's compound. This is Jessica and her daughter.
Okay.
And my friend Celine, he dressed me into the Muslim garb with the cape, can't think of the name of, and the dress. And so he wore like a salam. But
See, that looks more like a robe, not so much a dress.
well,
Yeah.
it's more like a robe,
It
There's
is.
more to it.
The
than stuff
red
under
and black looks like a dress.
Yeah. But I was inducted into their clan while I was there. And they had a meal and all that. And
Right.
they got to yelling and screaming and going on around there.
Now, what country
it was
was
pretty
this?
nice. Huh?
Back, what country was this? What country was this?
This is it was in Kenya, which is Kilimanjaro.
Okay.
I was up in the
Okay,
mountains.
gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
All right.
that's Romeo. He's the one that dressed me in all that garb and handed me his knife.
Yeah.
That knife I had. Yeah.
Wow.
And like I said, yeah, this is in my uncle's compound. But
That's
then I
beautiful,
went over.
though.
Huh?
I said that's beautiful. That's very nice.
And my friend Celine, he dressed me into the Muslim dress and everything. So I brought that back with me, and plus the hat, color caper, no frizz. So I brought that back and everything.
Yeah.
And since my cousin didn't get a chance to make it over there because she tested positive at least 3 times or something like that. And so they had at the Maasai in Kilimanjaro, they sent all her stuff back, like the dress, the cake, the necklace, the bracelet. They sent all that back with me.
Oh.
So yeah,
I like that.
It was a really enjoyable trip. Like I said, I put it to you like this: if you go anywhere, you ought to go and see the country that you come from, the mother country. It's so beautiful there. It's crazy. It's hard, but the people, like to hand to fit, to eat, from hand to hand, to eat.
Right.
But they're surviving. Now, while I was there, I had met a couple from San Antonio and their son. And he's retired military and she's retired from Walmart. And his son was working at HEB. He just walked off and just left HEB and started his business over in Africa.
Nice.
But yeah, and what was so surprising, the old man bought 2 cars, paid for them cash, and just waiting on his place. So having all this furniture sent in, so they moving there. And there's a lot of African Americans are moving into Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. And all the fruit, every piece of fruit you can think of is there.
Yeah.
Everything.
Wow.
And go ahead, Joyce.
No, I would say everything comes from the continent of Africa anyway.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? A lot, from diamonds to natural rubber and on and on and on. And
everything.
But I want to know, Mac, how does this, considering the history of African Americans and how we came here, and you're back in the motherland, how does this all make you feel?
Well, when I went over there, I had a specific goal that I was going to do, that I wanted to see. Since I chased my ancestry, so I'm going to Africa. My uncle's already there. So, and my first cousin, she's there. She's a Zulu. So I said, I'm going to talk to my ancestors.
Yeah.
And which I did.
Sure did.
I went to Bagamoor, and where it was the Portuguese, the Germans, and the Pope had something to do with the slavery and everything.
Right.
And they took these slaves, sent them across the Indian Ocean to Zanzibar, to Stone Town, where they actually auctioned them off. And come to think, Gary, on the website that's for the museum, you saw that hole with those slaves that's off in there?
Right.
I actually saw that.
Wow.
I got it on film, and like I said, I'm gonna post some of this stuff on film.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually saw that. And like I said, they gave me the complete history of how the slaves came about from Bagamoor that came there to the auction block in Stone Town. But they had another island where they sent these slaves to ship them around the world.
Wow.
Now, off in this hole, they had them chained up. Okay, then the one survived. That's the one they sent to the other island. And I didn't get a chance to go over there. But the next time I go, I'm going over to that island.
Yeah.
And the ones that survived, they sent them over there. The one that died, they dumped him in the ocean there.
Yeah.
But I tell you, if anybody had a chance to go to Africa, they should go. They should go.
I agree.
It's not that expensive at all.
Not for Mac. not for Mac.
No, it's really not. It's really not. A
Well, then,
round trip
if
ticket.
you don't mind, yeah, how much is a round trip ticket to Africa from Texas?
It cost me 13. But it cost me $12.50, but I added, the protection, and all that stuff. It cost me $13.80 round trip.
Yeah, that's somebody's rent for 1 month.
Well, that's true too. That's true too. But
Yeah.
Utilities, yeah.
yeah. But if you put save some money to put back to do that, you can do it. Now
I think it's worth it.
It's worth it. Now
Yeah.
I just stayed in my uncle's compound because there they have a problem. All of them.
Yeah, you said they had some water issues or something that last
They
time you were
have
there.
cut the water
Oh,
off.
that's what you mean. I didn't know what you were there to have a problem. I'm like, okay, they crazy?
No, because they cut off the water in certain areas, maybe off a day, maybe 2 days. And then the electricity, it may be off a day, maybe 2 days, maybe a week. I said, this time I couldn't deal with it. So I got a place for 1 month. And my cousin and my other friend, they paid for, but neither one of them made it. So we were third on it. So I stayed in a 3-bedroom. There was 3 bathrooms in each room, and a washroom, which they call a public toilet.
Yeah.
Living area, dining area, refrigerator, and a washer. Didn't have a dryer. You had to hang the clothes out, which is fine. But I had hot water every day.
I know that's right.
I had hot water every
And
day.
electricity.
Yeah.
And electricity.
Yeah.
So, and air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
So I was fine.
Very cool.
I wasn't that far from the beach or anything like that. Wasn't far from that. Then I went to Cocoa Beach where all the blacks could hang out. Then they got another beach. I can't remember the name of that beach, but everybody go to that beach.
Yeah.
But but everything I done that I didn't get a chance to do the last time, I've done it, but it's still more I want to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
a
you'll
huge continent.
So it sounds like you'll be definitely going back.
Yeah.
Well,
I hear that
yeah.
too.
You hear that? Yeah. But my cousin Pam, and she didn't make it, and we probably go over there for like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks at the most because of her job.
Yeah.
Then again, if she stay 2 weeks, I might just stay a month because 3 weeks they ain't gonna get it. But I tell you can have a ball there.
Sounds like you're moving.
$1,000. No.
They don't want to go that far, huh?
No, I ain't going that far now.
No, okay.
But I will buy some property over there, though. I will do that.
Well, you can build a home there, so when you are there, you have a place to stay.
I can do that. Buy some property and build a home there.
And let me know when it's done, so I'll have a place to stay.
That wouldn't be a problem at all, That would be a problem at all.
Because I know Mac, y'all, it will have everything that I need: air conditioning, running water, electricity,
washers and dryers.
Yeah. Wash and dryer, right?
Yeah.
even microwave. Wash and dry, microwave.
Yeah.
Have a refrigerator in there.
It's gotta have
That's all we need.
And see, they like a gas stove. Stove. But the thing is, they don't have gas lines. You have to buy the tank.
Oh, okay. Like propane tanks.
A propane tank.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
Wrong with that. But I eat every day. And look here.
Who was cooking for you?
You know who was cooking for me? Jessica was doing the cooking.
Jessica.
All right, Jessica. Go, girl.
No, she was
Right.
cooking and washing clothes and talking crazy to me.
Jessica, we understand that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We understand that.
But,
Keep
you know,
talking
we was
crazy to
fine.
him. He likes it.
We was
But
fine.
Mac,
Yes, ma'am.
before you went to Africa, you shared with us off the air that you had your DNA done. Could you share what you found in your DNA? Now that you've been to Africa, I'm sure knowing your DNA results meant more. But what were your results?
Hold on. I'm going to go to that right now.
All right.
Let me go
Right.
to
How
that.
long? How much time we have left, y'all?
We got eight minutes.
Yeah, 8 minutes.
All right. Okay.
Let me go to my DNA right quick.
Will it take longer than?
Oh, while you're looking
8
for
minutes?
that, I have to. We haven't done this in such a long time. Bobby!
Is Bobby in the house? What's
Hey,
up?
and I.
What's up, Mr. Porter? How you
I
doing,
didn't know
man?
myself. I was dying to do that.
Yay! What's up, man? Good to see you in there. Hope all is well. Tell Carolyn to say hello.
I'm all set.
Yes.
Let's see.
And to everybody in the chat room.
Yeah,
Yes.
everybody. We appreciate
Shout
all
out
of
to
y'all.
all of our peeps in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, still, Ray's looking
Hope
okay, so
y'all
real
having a
quick.
great. Hope y'all are having a good Saturday so far, wherever
Yeah.
you are and what you're doing today. And we sure appreciate you tuning in. We really do.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Every week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, this is my DNA. I got 35% of Nigerian. Then I got Cameroon, the Congo, and Western Bantu people, which is 23%.
Mm-hmm.
Then Malay, or Malai, is M-A-L-I,
Mm-hmm.
15%. Then the Bantu or Togo, 3%. Then the rest of it is like Wales, 3%. Scottish, 3%. Indonesia, North America, 3%. Irish, 3%. English of Northwestern Europe, 3%. The Ivory Coast and Ghana, I have 2%. And Mexican, I got 2%. Then Eastern Europe and Russia's 1%. Senegal, 1%. France, French, 1%. And
That's
North
a lot,
Africa,
isn't it?
1%.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
Man, you're a mutt.
You're a 57.
Mac, the reason why I can say that because my DNA sounds a lot like yours.
That is
My,
wild.
you know,
I'm
my
pretty
Nigerian
sure,
is, yeah,
like,
it's a
95%
lot.
of us like that are all mutts. We're not
Exactly.
pure
So,
anything.
so I'm not making fun of you because you're right, Gris. We're all like that. But I love that. I think all except I don't remember Ivory Coast, but everything else in my DNA is like yours.
Mhm.
I think there was one called Bush something that I can't remember Bush that was in my DNA. But Nigerian, it's amazing because Nigerian was 15% for me, and then all the rest, Cameroon took up the other because I think it was
And
like over 50%,
Yeah, and
a
what
little over 50%, a combination of African
Right.
countries.
And Ray, what was your dominant one? The most dominant, the biggest percentage?
Nigerian,
Oh, Nigerian. Okay.
yeah,
Then,
that was
then
35%.
35%. Then the other one was Cameroon, the Congo,
Yeah.
and Western Bantu people.
Hmm.
It's 23%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Then I have another Malay or Malai. It's 15.
yeah. How
Then
do
you
you
talking-
pronounce that?
I don't know.
Yeah, because I have that
it's
too.
It's M-A-L-I, Malai. And
Right.
it's 15%. Then the Bantu, and Togo is 3%.
Mm-hmm.
The Bantu tribe. So
Well, that's amazing because the Mexican and another one was Yucatan. that I have in on my DNA. That's interesting. But I think when I looked up how they labeled it, it meant the indigenous Mexicans before the Europeans came.
Yeah.
Before the
If that makes
Europeans
sense.
came.
Yeah.
Before the
Yeah,
European,
it
yeah,
makes
because I
sense.
was looking, I said, what is that? It was Yucatan and something else, but I didn't understand what it meant. And it was telling you that you came from, because let's face it, the indigenous, the indigenous people in like 4 or 5 states here were actually Mexicans. Were actually, so there are indigenous. We always think of Native Americans, AKA Indians, but actually Mexicans are also indigenous people as well.
Right.
Mhm.
Now,
Like the Aztecs, the Incas, and all of that. And
Exactly.
other groups like that. So yeah.
Mhm.
see,
Right.
I already know, like part of on my dad's side, his mom, see, they came out of Eastern Texas and Arkansas on my mom's side, and some of them are in Louisiana, African Americans. See, so see, I'm so mixed up in their hell. Like I said, I am a mutt.
Bunch of mutts. That's why we can't tell nobody to go back to their native country, because we got a little something from all of them.
Everywhere. That's
From
right.
all over.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I really suggest to anybody, if they ever got a chance and put it on their bucket list, hell, they can go to the casino. They got casinos over there. So
I want to go to Africa. I really do. I want to go.
If you go,
build your house, Mac. Build your house and get your property.
You will love it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, build. Because I'm coming. You build that house, and because I know it's going to be a nice house. Shame on. And he'll let me stay for free, right? My brother.
Helping us to app.
If I do it, it's still gonna be an Airbnb. I'm serious. They got some real nice companies.
Guys,
y'all need to think about that.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
It's time to wrap things up. So let's get out of here so we can go do our thing.
Yeah, and I can go do my thing.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to just tell all of everybody, thank you again for tuning in. We really do appreciate you tuning in every week, and we hopefully will keep progressing and growing and growing. And also, some of you might have seen a post that I posted this week. I'm actually in the plannings for the virtual award show. We're gonna try to do that again this year. So it's gonna be kind of cool. It's gonna be a little different, but I want to just kind of say we definitely, when we do this, we definitely need participation from everyone out there. So what I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna open up for some nominations, but it's going to be a little different. It's not going to be like how we did it last time. It's going to be somewhat similar, but I'll explain when it comes to that time. But just want everybody just to have their minds thinking about it, and have them think about all the artists that we've had on this show. If you watched this show with us through the years, you know some of the people that's come on the show. And I'm sure you've enjoyed listening to them and us talking to them and finding out things about them. So it's going to be kind of based off of, it's going to kind of be like almost like you know how they enter people into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and stuff like that, and then have these other different special awards. It's not going to be a specifically. This is hard for me to explain it right now, so I'm not going to try to even get into it.
More to come later.
Yeah, it'll be coming. But just everybody, just think about all the artists that's been on this show, and
nominate.
Yeah, and it's all going to come into play. But anyway, I just want y'all to think about that, and have a great weekend. Enjoy this weekend. I don't know what your weather's going to be like in your areas, but I know here where I'm at, it's supposed to be little cool front coming on again. I think in the middle of the week next week. But
it's cold here.
It's kind of cool too. Yeah. So man. But anyway, have a great weekend.
Okay.
Everybody else, take us out. Joyce, Ray, and Grizz, tell me.
Well, I already know who I'm voting for. I'm voting for Mac's chair. Yay!
The Briscoe chair.
Briscoe chair. know we're probably 4 o'clock now, so I'm just going to say bye and see you guys next week.
All right.
All right, Joy.
And have a good show tonight, Joyce.
Yeah, have a good show.
Thank you.
Have fun.
All right. Bye.
Right.
But yeah, it's good to be back home. That's for sure. I'm telling you, I get back in the country at 11 o'clock. I didn't get home to 5 o'clock. Couldn't find my dadgum car.
Oh, that was another crazy story. It took him 4 hours to find his vehicle in the airport when he got back.
4 hours. Oh gosh. Okay. All right. I gotta go though. Come on. Don't bring up another funny thing. We have to end the show.
I know.
I can't even talk when we get off the air. We're just gonna have to talk another time.
Yeah.
I gotta go, guys.
Okay.
All right.
Grizz, take us out.
Okay.
See you later. Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Again, thank you. Chat Room Gang, thank you for supporting us every week. Please, next week, invite a friend to come with. And don't forget to do the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't to Gary's channel. Next week, we have Tony Garvez as our guest. And hopefully someone else will be joining, I hope.
Okay.
So keep your fingers crossed that other person will be able to join.
All right.
But definitely Tony will be our guest next week. So
All right.
tune in and have a great weekend. Be safe out there. Ciao.
All
Love
right,
you.
Ciao, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye, bye, bye.